All right, so the final step that we're going to do is create the QR code for the poster. I'm going to show you how to create one that can link to a text online version of your bibliography. But like I said before, you can also use QR codes to link to YouTube videos or other interactive content that you would want. Just keep in mind that you want to have the most important information present on your poster. In other words, you don't want to have valuable information in a QR code in case everyone cannot interact with the QR code or chooses not to. So it's sort of meant to be like a little extra content, extra interesting fact if they care more about your presentation. After we do the QR code, we're also going to put just a little blurb down here, and I can show you how to list the Creative Commons license if you want to. So to do the QR code, it's really a pretty simple process. I use a site that I've included in the resources handout, and it's just called qrstuff.com. This is a very simple, easy to use, free website. If you want to create an account, you see you can have sign up here. If you want to create an account, you can actually create what's called a dynamic QR code. And that means that for the same code, this is the example of the QR code here, for the same code, you can log into your account and change the link so that you sort of have like an unlimited resource there. You can, one time the QR code could link to a YouTube video, and then the next time the QR code could link to a Facebook page or something else. So if it's something you want to reuse, you can create an account. Otherwise, you don't even have to create an account. So it's very simple. What you're going to do is select your data type. It has built-in data types for YouTube videos, maps, Facebook, all of this kind of thing, email address, email message, all sorts of things. So I'm just going to go with a website URL because, again, this one is for sharing the bibliography. And then you see it lists a place where you can actually copy paste the website URL in. And then you have your options of static or dynamic. And you can click this little what's the difference thing. That's great for explaining this, but basically you're going to want to choose static. It means that the URL gets embedded into the QR code and it never changes. And then you have an option of choosing a color, which is really helpful for us because right here is that hex code again. So we can use the same hex codes that we were using in our theme for our poster to create a QR code that's going to match with our poster's theme. And that's really important. And then you just download the code. So how do you do an online bibliography? Basically, you're going to just type up your bibliography in a Word document, and then you're going to upload that Word document to a site that has a server storage. So something like OneDrive by Microsoft, which is what I use, Google Drive. I think you can even do this with iCloud Drive. I'm not sure if the sharing ability is there, but you just want it uploaded to some sort of a server. And for me, I use OneDrive for most everything. So here is some of the stuff that I had in my OneDrive for school. And if we go into, let me see, I don't know where I'm going. Here we go. So here is where I was creating my Vatek poster. And what I did basically is I created a document that I called my bibliography. And I did this for a couple of people, but here it is, bibliography here. And when you create this and you upload it to OneDrive, what you can do is by selecting on it, you can actually click Share. And if I click Share here, it's going to give me an option, Get Link or Email, and then Manage Permissions. So what you want to make sure is that your permissions are set to allow anyone with the link to view the document. So that's what my permissions are set to. I'm going to click Get Link, and here it is. Anyone with this link can edit this item. So it tells you right there. So I actually created it so that it can be edited, but you can change that right here by unchecking Allow Editing. And then it will recreate the link, and you're going to just Command C to copy, and we can close this, and we're going to come right back over here, and we're going to Command V to paste. So you can see the link is sort of complicated. It changed the way the QR code looks. But what's going to happen is now, anytime anyone scans that QR code, it's just going to open up that Word document for them in a web browser that they can view and see your resources in your bibliography. So I've got static, which is what I want. The last thing I'm going to do is just go back over here and pick a color that I like. You'll want to make sure for the readability of the QR code that it is a nice, strong, contrasting color. I'm going to pick the color that I used for the text. So I'm going to go back up here, and I'm just going to copy paste that color and paste it right into here. See, you can already see it changed right like that. The QR code has changed to the color, and then I'm going to say download QR code. So it's going to drop right into my downloads as a PNG image. I can close that, and then I'm going to go into my poster. Nope, we don't need to subscribe. I'm going to go right into my poster. We're going to zoom in here. And I'm going to place it right down here in this area because I want it to be something really visible. So we're just going to go to Picture, Picture from File, and then I'm already on my desktop. I want to go to Downloads. There's my QR code. I'm going to insert it. It's going to put it in a random place. Now you can see how the background is white. There are ways to change that, but I don't recommend it. You can use the Remove Background tool, but sometimes it misses parts of the QR code. So you really will just have to deal with the white background. The only other thing you can do is using your picture format, you can change the color of the whole QR code, and that will lighten the background as well. It'll change the color of the background as well, like in these options here. And that's fine to do as long as your QR code stays, contrasting. So here's like one that increases the temperature and that sort of thing. I'm just going to leave mine white. I don't mind it white. The other option that you can do, though, is you can set the transparency color. So see how it says transparent color? So you click that, and then what you'd want to do is just click on the white, and you can see that that really easily just made the background fade. So that is an option if you want to do that, to make the QR code just fade right into the background. And seeing it now, I actually like that better, so I think I'll leave it like that. But you can just leave the white background around the QR code. It's totally up to you. So now I have this QR code placed. I'll just place it right here. And then I want to insert a text box so that I can let my viewers know what the heck this is. And we're going to change our font back down to the 32. And I'm actually going to make this font even smaller because it's not as important of information. And I'm just going to say scan for bibliography and related readings. And you can certainly say, you can say something like related readings, or you can say scan for bibliography and works, I can't spell, works consulted. So you can say something like that, depending upon what is included in your bibliography. I'm going to move this text box and put it right next to my QR code. I'm going to change my font so it matches my QR code. Actually, I'll do the lighter. I'll do this color. That's fine. And then when we zoom out, now we have this little QR code right here. And you can see I didn't change the size of the QR code because this is its standard size. This is the size it downloaded in. But if we check the size of that, it's about 2 inches by 2 inches, which is totally fine by me. And that's definitely large enough for it to make a nice, easy scan from any smart device. So again, you can put the QR code where I put it. You can put it over here, wherever you want to put it, wherever it feels like it's going to work best in your poster. Just make sure you have a nice, clear margin around it. So again, that's all we did to create this QR code. We just went to the QR Stuff site, created the code, downloaded it, and that's all you have to do. You never have to do anything else with that. As long as that document remains on OneDrive or remains on whatever server you're storing it on, you can use this QR code. And there is actually a way to do this with your Helios account, which is your online campus storage, where you put it into a web part of your Helios account, and you can actually create a link for that and store it. But if you need help with figuring out that, you have to have a web account, and it's a little more complicated, so you'd have to speak with CTS. I just recommend doing something like OneDrive. It's simple to create an account, a free account for OneDrive, or something like Google Drive or that kind of thing. So the last thing that we're going to do on the poster here is we're going to add another text box down here. I'm just going to put it anywhere for now, and I'll move it around later. And then in very small text, small for the poster, I'm going to probably put it at size 18, maybe 20. We'll see how that looks. I'm going to give my sort of attribution. So I'm going to say SUNY Potsdam, or you can do the full title. The little dot that I had on the Vatek poster was actually from Symbols. If we go, whoops, my Symbols button disappeared here. It was just a little raised dot. You don't have to worry about it. Might be under Shapes. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I just created one of these little dots, but you can use a hyphen, you can use, whatever kind of thing you want. It was just a little bullet point dot. So I'm going to do SUNY Potsdam College, and then I think I'll just do a dash here, and then you would say the name of your professor, Dr. Lisa, or actually you would say you could do it on another line and say, whatever your class was, and then your course number and your instructor, and then underneath here you would want your name. And if you wanted to do that under here, you could do your Creative Commons license. And you can change your formatting so it's centered or however you want it to look. And your color, of course, we would put into a color that matches our theme. And you would just want to put this, you can put it all in one line, you can put it, smaller than that or stretched out than that. You want to put it down on the bottom here so that it's very unobtrusive, but still there for people to see. And if you want to know more about the Creative Commons license, what I suggest is just doing a Google search for your Creative Commons license. And that will actually bring you to the main site for Creative Commons right here. And if you go to About the Licenses, it will actually tell you licenses here. It will tell you all about the ones that you want, and you can go to choose a license, and this is basically a way to copyright your work, your poster work. And when you do all of this and you say, let others, blah, blah, you go through all these steps, it will actually give you a image that you can download, or a code that you can embed, but it will give you a license symbol that you can download, and then you would just place that right into your PowerPoint like an image, and it would say copyright Creative Commons, and that's the way that you can do that. So the last thing that I will recommend to you is always save everything. Make sure you put all of your images in one place. Make sure you always put everything in one folder and keep a hard copy of everything. So I hope that's been helpful. I hope you can understand more of how to create a large-scale poster like this. And in the final step for printing, in one more little short clip, I'm going to show you how to convert this into a PDF document.